The practice of cultivating metta, loving kindness, goodwill, warm-heartedness. There's so many different words you can translate metta as. Love being one of them. So this cultivation, this practice of cultivation, one way that's invited to do it in the teachings, in the Buddhist teachings, is to do it in in categories. In categories. I often think of it as concentric circles. And in the teachings, one usually starts with oneself and then goes to what's called the benefactor, someone who's supported you, been a teacher, in some ways has supported your life, your progress in real life. Then the next category is a dear friend, someone who's dear to you, you care about. The next category is a neutral person, neutral being, someone whom you don't know very well. You see them, maybe you've seen them, but not, they're just a stand-in for all of humanity. Then the next category is people we have difficulty with. And the next category after that is all beings. And the category of all beings, um, that actually in the Metta Sutta, it's there. In order for the mind to kind of get a sense of all these different categories of all beings, um, there's the categories of those who are seen and unseen. Those are who are born and yet to be born. Those who are near or far. Those who are medium, large, or small. Those who are, you get the picture, right? So just these different categories. Which reminds me, when I was growing up in Iran, my grandma, there was this little blessing that she would give, and it would be those who were born on a Monday, those who were born on a Tuesday. You get the sense, kind of like trying to cover different categories in different ways. Um, and we can also think of all beings, those who slither, those who fly, those who swim, those who walk the earth, those who hop. So there's so many different ways to consider the categories. I mean, the point is for our mind to kind of connect, make a connection, for it not to stay too vague. And sometimes it's geographical. So with that inspiration, what I wanted to invite us to explore tonight was a different way of categorizing. It's a different way of, it's not the classical way, because there's so many. I mean, it's about cultivating the heart, right? So we can cut the pie any which way. So the invitation is to consider, all these categories in some ways are in present moment, considering time as linear and as a present moment. So, what if we consider time not to be linear, as physics tells us time is not really linear, and it's how we perceive it as human beings? So, the point being, what if we cultivate, what if we bring up a sense of goodness, um, wishing well for those who were in our lives at a different time? And are maybe they're not in in our lives anymore. Maybe um, um, you know, there- if we imagine our school, for example, maybe you're in kindergarten, if you remember, or grade school. Remember, oh yeah, we had best friends forever, and at that time we were inseparable, and now, oh yes, they're living their own lives. Oh, but they had an impact on us. They supported us at some point. So cultivating this sense of goodness, which this goodwill, metta. May you be well wherever you are, my best friend in kindergarten, whom I was inseparable from. May you be well wherever you are, however you are. So that sense of, and also some of the people who are no longer in our lives perhaps have passed away, and with this practice, if it starts to get overwhelming and get into grief for you, then I suggest you stick to people who are alive or might still be alive. Um, but if it's okay to stay with those who are deceased, then you can just have a sense of gratitude. So the practice of metta then becomes a practice of gratitude. So we're kind of swimming in between gratitude and cultivating metta for all those who have impacted our lives, all the teachers, all the beings, all the friends, all the colleagues, family. There's so many people who have all these causes and conditions in the way of beings who have impacted us, who are no longer directly in our lives. So wishing them well, and having a sense of gratitude for um, for their support, even if they were difficult. We had difficulty with them, recognizing in some ways they were our teacher. So again, not getting bogged down with the challenges and anger if it arises, but kind of setting the intention for the cultivation of goodwill and metta. And there's so many people in your past. You don't have to stick to where it's challenging, right? So choose where it's easy. Choose where it's easy is my invitation. You can always do more challenging practices later when you really have your bearings. Okay.